Namaste. In the third edition of My India, My Pride, we studied about Vedas and other scriptures written by our Rishi Munis. There are many Rishis in Sanatana Dharma. Out of them, 7 are very important. They are called Saptarshis. Today, let us learn about Saptarshis of this Manvantara, who they are and why they are important. In the last videos, we have learned that one Kalpa means one day of Brahma. The present Kalpa or the day of Brahma is called Shweta Varaha Kalpa. In this Kalpa, these 14 Manus have taken charge. Each Manvantara is distinguished by the Manu who rules over it. We are currently in the 7th Manvantara. Vaivaswata Manu is the present Manu and this Manvantara is called Vaivatswata Manvantara. 7 more Manvantaras have yet to come. According to Purana, the first person on this earth is Manu. Manu was the son of Prajapati and Satrupa, or Brahma and Saraswati. God created Ananti as the wife of Manu. Manu and his wife are said to be the parents of this world according to Hindu mythology. The Sanskrit term Manav meaning a human who derived from Manu or the children of Manu. During summer, when the sky is clear at night, you can see countless stars in the sky. You can also see a group of stars called constellations. One such constellation, called by modern day astronomists as Big Dipper or Ursa Major, but in ancient Indian astronomy, the constellation of Big Dipper Ursa Major is called Saptarshi Mandal, with 7 stars representing 7 rishis. To find the Saptarshi Mandal, look up into the north sky about 1/3 of the way from the horizon to the top of the sky. The North Star or Dhruva Nakshatra can be seen. The Saptarshi Mandal rotates around the North Star or Dhruva Nakshatra through all of the seasons and through the night. These Saptarshis are the Manasa Putras of Lord Brahma. They help Brahma in creating this world. The Saptarshis of Vaivaswata Manvantara are Maharshi Vashishta, Maharshi Kashyapa, Maharshi Atri, Maharshi Jamadagni, Maharshi Gautama, Maharshi Vishwamitra and Maharshi Bharadwaj. According to the Vedas, this is not the first time the universe was created. Thousands of Manvantaras have passed and many have yet to come. At the end of each Manvantara, Saptarshis get merged with the Creator and new set of Saptarshis are given the responsibility of creating the universe. They are beyond the cycle of life, death and karma. All Hindu Vedas and many scriptures were written by these Saptarshis. Let us learn about the 7 rishis of Vaivaswata Manvantara. Maharshi Vashishta is one of the oldest and most revered Vedic rishis or sages. He was married to Arundhati. The pair is considered to symbolize marriage. Arundhati and Vashishta were considered an ideal couple, symbolic to marital fulfillment and loyalty. During the marriage ceremonies of Hindus, one of the ritual is the groom showing the bride the double stars of Vashishta and Arundhati. In the Ramayana, he was the family priest of Raghu dynasty and the teacher of Lord Rama and his brothers. As per his instructions, Dasharatha sent Rama and Lakshmana with Maharshi Vishwamitra to kill the demons who were troubling the rishis and destroying the yajnas. Vashishta is the subject of many stories. One such story is of him being in possession of the divine cow Kamadhenu and her calf Nandini, who could grant anything to the owners. He is famous in Hindu stories for his legendary conflict with sage Vishwamitra. Once King Vishwamitra saw the cow and wished to possess her to feed his great army. He said to the sage, "O great one, I shall give you 10,000 heads of first-class cattle. Give me this cow in exchange. She will be very useful to me." But Vashishta refused to do so, saying she actually belonged to Devas and not to him. King Kaushika or Vishwamitra became angry due to his arrogance and attacked Vashishta with all his forces. The cow refused to go with Vishwamitra. When Vashishta told he cannot defeat the huge army and protect her, the cow, which had superpowers, produced a huge and powerful army which fought and defeated Vishwamitra's army. Maharshi Atri was the son of Brahma. Sati Anasuya was his wife. Maharshi Atri was a great scholar and had written many shlokas in Vedas. Sati Anasuya is considered one of the 7 Pativritas. With the blessings of Trimurtis Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara, they got 3 sons, namely Soma or Chandra, Dattatreya and Durvasa Maharshi. Maharshi Atri is the creator of many shlokas about Devas in Vedas. Bharadwaja Rishi was one of the greatest Maharshis. He was the descendant of Rishi Angirasa, whose accomplishments are detailed in the Puranas. Sage Bharadwaja was a sage of Vedic times. He had the great power of meditation. His ashram still exists near the holy Prayag at Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh. Gautama Muni is prominently mentioned in the Ramayana and is known for cursing his wife Ahalya. The story goes like this. Once, Indra saw Ahalya, who was very beautiful, and disguised as Maharshi Gautama went to her ashram. She served him thinking it is her husband. When Rishi Gautama came to know about this, he cursed Ahalya to turn into stone. When he realized she was innocent, he told her, when Vishnu incarnates as Rama, he will come and release her from the curse. During 14-year exile of Rama, when Rama steps on the stone, she is released from her curse. Another important story related to Gautama is about the creation of river Godavari. The sage Gautama is engaged in tapas on the Brahmagiri mountain when there is a 100-year drought in the area and thus crops can't grow. He starts engaging in tapasya to Varuna, the ocean god. Ocean god Varuna appears before him after 6 months. Varuna denies Gautama's request for rain because it would go against the wishes of the gods. So Gautama instead asks for divine everlasting water yielding permanent results. So Varuna tells Gautama to dig a ditch and then Varuna fills it with divine water and says this, O great sage, let there be a perennial supply of water in this ditch that has become sacred. This will become famous on the earth by your name. So the river is also known as Gautami. Maharshi Jamadagni was well known for his anger. He was married to a princess Renuka. They had 5 sons. Renuka was serving the rishi in the ashram with devotion and loyalty without longing for royal comforts. Once she saw Gandharvas enjoying in the river. She looked at them for a moment and lost her concentration. Jamadagni realizes this and is very furious. He asks his sons to behead their mother. 4 of them refused to comply except Rama, the 5th son, who was asked to behead his other brothers too, as they were disobedient. Rama beheaded his mother and his brothers. Jamadagni was extremely pleased with Rama and blessed him with many boons. Rama instantaneously asked for his mother and his brothers to be brought back to normalcy. Jamadagni agreed and restored them back to the living state, with them having no memory of what happened. The calf of divine cow Kamadhenu Nandini was acquired by the sage Jamadagni after years of penance. It was stolen by the higher king Kartivirya, who killed Jamadagni during the theft. Parashurama learnt about this crime and was furious. He carried his axe in his hand and challenged the king to battle. Parashurama defeated and killed the king. His anger did not stop there. It led to a wholesome massacre of Kshatriyas. Kashyapa Rishi was the grandson of Lord Brahma. He hailed from the state of present-day Kashmir. It was named after him Kashyapamir or Kashmir. His descendants started the Ikshwaku dynasty, in which King Raghu, in whose name Raghuvamsha started, in which Bhagwan Ram was born. Ram was called Raghuvamshi. He was married to the 17 daughters of Daksha Prajapati. Aditi and Diti, who were the mothers of Devas and Asuras, were among these. As per Purana, all living beings of this world are the children of Kashyapa Rishi and 17 of his wives. Maharshi Vishwamitra was a king in ancient India. He was also called Kaushik and belonged to Amavasu dynasty. Vishwamitra wanted to be as strong as Brahmarshi Vashishta. He realized that as a king he was unable to beat Vashishta, so he did penance and attained divine weapons and attacked Vashishta. But Vashishta nullified Vishwamitra's weapons with his cosmic powers. He used his danda as a symbol to channelize his energy. However, some people mistake it as a weapon and named it Brahma Danda, but that is wrong. The power was in Vashishta's penance, not in some stick. Vishwamitra again and again did penance several times to become as powerful as Vashishta, but could not become Brahmarshi. Once when he was doing tapas or penance to become Brahmarshi, Indra sent Menaka to distract him. Sage Vishwamitra married her and they had a daughter named Shakuntala, who was King Dushyanta's wife. They had a son called Bharata. Our country Bharatavarsha got its name from this king. Vishwamitra did penance for several years but failed to achieve his goal of becoming Brahmarshi. Finally, he overcame his anger, desire, lust, greed and jealousy and bowed before Vashishta to seek his blessings. Vashishta accepted him as Brahmarshi and blessed him. When Vashishta was blessing him by keeping his palm on Vishwamitra's head, due to the energy, Vishwamitra's conscience expanded and he created Gayatri Mantra. Namaste. Children, I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. To make this educational video, we have used several websites for pictures, videos and materials. We sincerely thank all the sources.